Hi guys, this is lecture 7 and today we are going to learn about my blog. This is the index of the lecture. At first we'll learn about what is my blog and next let's do the exercise together. Let's learn about my blogs. We have to remind about blogs before learning my blogs. We learned several blogs in the last lectures. For example, we learned the motion block or looks block. Using the motion block, which is blue, we can control the behavior of our sprites. Also, we can change the appearance of them by using the looks block. Of course, we can mix these blocks together and make a new bundle of the blocks like this. We can define this bundle of the blocks or a block into a myBlocks. myBlocks is similar to function. If you're not familiar with function, just think myBlocks as custom blocks. So with myBlocks, we can perform our own operation as we define how the blocks are composed. myBlocks category is in the very bottom here and click this make a block button to create our own blocks. Let me explain how we can make myBlocks. Once you create myBlocks, we can understand better what is myBlock and how function works. This window is created when we click the Make a Block button, right? This window helps to create myBlocks with three options. One is the label in the last button, and the label can be a name of a function or just descriptions to understand. First and second options are creating input, but these two options have different types of created inputs. First one creates number or text input and second creates boolean input, which is either true or false. So we should check the type of input and select the proper options. For example, I can compose my blocks like this. My block is created as in order. We click the three options, white text with dark background color or label, which is created by clicking the third option, and black text with round shape is input, which is created by clicking the first option. Although this example doesn't have the second option, it will make a diamond shape, not round one. We can distinguish the input types, I mean first and second options with the shape. Continue with the same example. We just set labels and inputs, and now is the time to define the contents of the function. As you can see, define word appears in front of our function. Move blah blah. I can state that we can define a bundle of the blocks into myBlocks by adding blocks under the myBlocks like this. Also, we can use our input parameters in the lower blocks such as step number or degree number here. Now let's use myBlocks. In myBlocks section at the very bottom of the category list, there are blocks we made. We made a function which gets two inputs so we can see the round shape black. We will enter some input values in those blanks. This myBlock will make the sprite move 5 steps and turn 90 degrees. So far, I have explained what myBlocks is and how to make it. So let's think about why we need myBlocks or function. It's because of usability and simplicity. Suppose that we make our sprite move 5 steps and turn 90 degrees. When we press down arrow key and move 5 steps and turn 180 degrees. When we press up arrow key, then we can copy the blocks and paste them and just change the degree of rotation. But suppose that we have to make these operations for all 4 directions or more complex operations. Not only copying blocks and changing some parameters are such a boring job, but also there are many similar copied blocks, so we may get confused. But using myBlocks helps us to define the same operations in one function, and that's the way to improve usability and simplicity. Let's do the exercise to apply myBlock that we learned. This exercise is create a program that sprite asks for your name and say hello blah blah. When we press the space key, do it with myBlocks. We are gonna use blocks in sensing category to make the sprite ask for our name. Second exercise is create a program that the sprite moves 10 or 20 steps with changing costumes when we press the space or right arrow key. Make this program using myBlocks. For hints, we are going to use costume 1 and costume 2 in this exercise.
This is part of exercise answer. I will explain in the scratch screen. let's make my blocks here. Click Make a Block button. Actually, in this exercise, we don't need any input, so we can skip the first and second options. And if you need some descriptions, click the third option, but I think it is enough to set block name here. Block name never affects to the operation of function, so you can set it to anything you want. Exercise 1 or my function, something like that. But it is better to set understandable name. I'm gonna set it to just hello. And then new block is created, which starts with define word. Now we will define this function by adding some blocks under here. First, in the sensing category, drag and drop the ask what's your name and wait block. This blank is a message that sprite will ask. The sprite will wait until we answer this question. After we answer block will store our answer in here. In the looks category, find the say blah for blah seconds block and set it here to answer block. Then the sprite will say our name, which is stored in answer block, for 2 seconds. We want that the sprite says our name with hello, so we need join block in operators category. We can connect hello and answer block by using this join block. We can also use multiple join block. So let's connect exclamation mark in the end like this. And we need a space here, maybe. Almost done. Drag and drop the when space key pressed in the event category and add our function, our hello my blocks in here like this. This block is for using defined our blocks, and this part is for defining our blocks. When we press the space key, we can see the question has appeared. So enter our name. Then sprite says like this, as we want. Next, in the second exercise, we need input in our function. So click here and click the make a block button here. And click the first option and set the name of input to step num. I'm going to change here to go and add label and change here to steps to clarify the function's operations. Now we can see this define blah blah block is created. Before defining the function, let's set other first. We want to set steps to 10 when we press the right arrow key and minus 10 steps when we press the left arrow key. Minus value means the sprite moves backward. So drag and drop when space key pressed in the event category and change here to right arrow and add my blocks go blank steps here. Copy and paste these blocks and we are going to change here to left arrow and this value to minus 10. So we use the same function go blank steps twice with only changing inputs. This is why we use function and why we use my blocks in Scratch. Let's define the function. First, in motion category, use move blah blah steps. We want the sprite to move as we input. So set here to step num block, which stores in our input of the function by dragging and dropping it like this. Next, we are going to make blocks to change costumes. We want that costume 1 to be changed to costume 2 and vice versa. For this, we need if-else block in control categories, and also equal condition block in here. We will set costume name block in looks category. Yeah, this one we will use it in the left side, and we have to change it to name. And we have to change here to name costume 1. It means if the name of costume is costume 1, these blocks will be executed. Otherwise, blocks in else part will be executed. Let's use switch costume block here. If the current costume is costume 1, we will switch it to costume 2. Otherwise, we will switch it to costume 1. Lastly, let's check if it operates well. If we press the right arrow key, it moves 10 steps with changing costumes, like this. And when we press the left arrow key, it moves minus 10 steps. Moves backward with changing costume, like this. Thank you for listening. If you have any question, feel free to ask to us.